This is my famous chili. And I'm going to get started by just dicing up an onion here. This is a brown onion. I like to use brown onions because they're sweeter. You can use whatever you like. Red onions, well, it's up to you. If you like them, use them. White onions are not typically used for this because they're not sweet. That's why they use them in salsas and that sort of stuff. But these are going to get caramelized anyway, so in order to get that rich, deep flavor, you want as many rich, deep flavors as that you can get when you're making chili. So I use browns, and I just give them a coarse chop here. They are going to cook down, and it's just kind of a simple little thing here. My chili has a couple of little secrets to it now. On this one I'm going to use a red bell pepper. I like a little bit of vegetables in my chili. It helps with the nutrients and the starches, and keep it from being so gassy. I'm just going to coarse it. Now the other thing that I use, well, the first secret ingredient that I use here is on top of onions and bell peppers, which is kind of a basic in lots of chilies. I also use a fennel bulb, and this is what a fennel bulb looks like. Kind of a little bit like a celery root, and I use about the same amount as an onion, I guess. And get rid of that part. It's no good. And then I do it just like I do an onion, and I dice it down, and I'm going to sweat these things together. Now a fennel is what they make black licorice out of. Now I know a lot of you don't like black licorice, but that's okay. This is a deep, dark, interesting flavor, and it adds an incredible richness to chili. It's also one of the flavoring ingredients in Italian sausage. So, if you like the flavor of Italian sausage, you'll like fennel. So I dice that up just like that, and then the only other thing here is a little bit of garlic, and I'll run my knife through that. And then we can get started cooking. Oh, and cilantro. Now, cilantro, there are people who don't like it. If there's something you find you don't like, feel free to omit it. But this is my recipe after all. And the idea is that when you put all of these ingredients together, it does make a pretty incredible chili. This is not, one of those run for the milk to kill the fire out in your mouth, because this is not a hot chili. It's a savory chili, but an award winner just the same. And last but not least, a little cilantro. I've already washed this. I've already washed everything actually. Run my blade through that, and there's the cilantro. And on top of that, the only other thing is the mushrooms I already cut. So here we are again, and I'm going to start making the chili. Get the pan hot. And I use canola oil. You can use whatever oil you like, but canola is one of the healthier ones without the flavor that olive oil has. So I don't really like the taste of olive oil in a chili. It's fine in other things, but not in chili. Okay, and to this, because I'm going to saute these vegetables down. This here is cumin, and that's about a tablespoon, and that goes in there. And then on top of that, I'll spoon this out. This is some chili powder that I made up. You can use your own. Again, about a tablespoon. We'll put that in there, and There we go. Okay, so I'm going to drop this in there, and it'll start sizzling right away. This is onions, bell peppers, fennel bulb, and garlic. And to this, I will add a couple pinches of salt. That looks like a lot of salt, I know, but it's really not. But I just don't want to shake. And besides, it's a big pot of chili. So I'm going to sweat this down. Use it. Still it gets to cool. And then as soon as it starts to get a little clear, I will add my meat. And in this case, I am using Italian sausage. The Italian sausage I'm using today is made from chicken, but you can use any kind of sausage you like. I wouldn't recommend breakfast sausage, but any kind of Italian savory sausage that you like. And that'll add a nice flair. Now, if you don't have sausage or you don't want to use sausage, don't like sausage, feel free to use meat. But again, this is my recipe, my chili, sausage. Okay, so on with the chili. The vegetables have been cooking for approximately 3, 4, 5 minutes. And they are starting to release their aroma and starting to show a little clearness on them. And I'm going to add some meat. This, like I said, is chicken sausage. I bought this one in this part of it in bulk. This is the spicy stuff. I used a half a pound of this, and that goes in there. And then I have also some sweet, which is, sweet means savory when it comes to sausage. It means not hot, but flavorful. So there's basil and garlic and all kinds of lovely stuff in these sweet sausages. They're not sugary, they're savory. So we're going to put those in there too. And then I will stir this up, and as soon as the meat gets a little, I don't know, cooked a little bit, some brown on it, where it can be broken up and stays broken up, not wanting to clump together, at that point, I will add the liquid. The beans. All right, I'm back with chili. The meat is cooked now, as is most of the vegetables. The meat is no longer clumping. It's not all the way cooked, but it's no longer clumping, so we can add the beans and the vegetables. So now, here's another trick to chili. If you get more than one kind of bean, actually you're supposed to have 3 different kinds of beans, and that supposedly makes a better protein chain. Even though beans are carbohydrates, they're partial proteins. They have amino acids in them. So if you mix 2 beans and a grain, or 3 beans together, it gives you enough different amino acids to make a complete protein. There's the theory. However, I find that when I mix more than a couple different kinds of beans together, it's less gassy, at least for the first couple of days. If you let this sit in the refrigerator for more than 3 days, you're going to get gas. That's just kind of the nature of it. However, so first bean in, garbanzo beans. Black beans. Yeah, these are black beans, and we'll put those in too as well. Kidney beans. Now I drained the garbanzo beans. The kidney beans didn't have any liquid. Here's pinto beans, and I'm putting their liquid in. And I think I have a can of chili beans. That's 4 different kinds of beans. Chili beans, I think, are technically navies, but I don't really know, to be honest with you. So those are those. And then on top of that, I'm adding a can of diced tomatoes and a can of crushed tomatoes to give it some body. I'll scoop that out. I'm going to give that a quick stir. And I'm also going to have to put some liquid in here. Okay, so it needs a little liquid, otherwise it's going to be pretty starchy. And then the only other thing that I add, well, in terms of flavoring, is I'm going to add a little bit of chicken stock. This is chicken stock powder, and that's about a heaping tablespoon for a full pot of chili. I think that ought to do it. You want to do that to taste. If it tastes tomatoey, add a little more chicken stock. And then I'm going to bring this to a boil. And as soon as it comes to a boil, I will turn it down and simmer it. Also going to add all of these mushrooms. Let them break down. And one other thing. Half of a bunch of chopped cilantro. And we'll still stir that in there. Hey, it is time to serve up this delicious chili. You know, smell-o-vision is really going to be necessary in the near future, the way I see it. Because this is so wonderful smelling. And I don't think there's any way to convey it to you. My mouth is watering. My brain is thinking, wow, when can I get a bite of that? And the truth is, it's still a little too hot to do any of that, which is going to be a drag because it's going to have to cool down just a little bit. But maybe it'll cool down by the time I get that bread cut. And there's the last one here. Oh, it smells divine. And it's that real deep, mysterious thing that's going on there with that fennel bulb and the cumin together. It's just to die for. Okay? I encourage you to try this. And remember, your favorite flavor you haven't tasted yet.